Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Muffin. This is Muffin's Redstone Guide, and today is a very basic tutorial to single item sorting machines. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. What this machine does is it takes a certain item that you've coded into the program by putting 45 blocks, including some of the item, and sorts it through into this chest. There will always end up being one item in here as a byproduct of how this works. But if you want to, you can just pop it out when you want to use it, because it's not mandatory for how the system works. This block here that you use to make up the extra 45 has to be a block that you're not planning on putting into the sorting machine. The reason I use stone is because I'm not actually going to use this sorting machine, it's just an example, and I had a lot of stone on hand. And then 1, 2, or 3, or any more of your item. These 4 have to be taken up, just so you know. If you don't take them up, any item will come through and spit one of these out, and then it will break the sorting system. If you code every single one of the hoppers, which I've not done, I've just locked the extra hoppers for sake of simplicity, it will sort individual items into every chest, or if you make them double chests, it can make them 2. There are ways to make it so that it sorts into the same chest. However, that's a bit of a pain, and it still takes up the same space. It would just be pushing that hopper into this hopper instead of pushing that hopper into this chest. To insert the items, you simply walk over to your water stream or whatever else you have and throw the items on it. There are ways to do this fancier, but this is the simplest way, and this is just the really basic sorting machine design. I'll show you a few others in some other videos. Now this was a redstone torch, which is not what I coded into here, so it didn't go in. However, if I go and chuck some redstone dust in like that, it'll all go into the water and get sucked in by this hopper, where you can see here, still 3 there, still 1 there, but there's 7 in here. To build this sorting machine, you just need a hopper facing into the comparator or anywhere else. I put it into the comparator because it's the easiest place because there's already a block there. And then 1 pointing into your chest, which I don't have a chest in my hotbar, so I'm just going to put a dirt block there. That's the chest. And then you've got a comparator, 3 redstone dust, a repeater set to 1 or 2, 3 or 4 will not work, so 1 or 2, probably just 1, it's a lot easier. Then a redstone torch. How and why this works, and why you can put it back to back to back, like so many of those, is that you fill this up with 45 items, which gets 2 from the comparator powers, and then 46 gets you 3. So once you get 3 powers, this will cause this repeater to turn on, which turns this torch off, which was powering this block and locking this hopper. Now that this hopper is no longer locked, it can suck the items out of this, but then the moment it falls back below 46, this turns off and the redstone torch flicks back on. And this happens quick enough that the item will get caught in the hopper, and that's why it gets caught here. You can just pop it out when you want to. The reason you can stack this design and have like a design here and a design here and a design here, even though the redstone dust is connected, is because this is 3, but since the power is just going down to here, and the condition for it turning on is it being here, it'll only actually power up to here on this one and up to here on this one, and it won't power this one at all. It's a fairly simple concept, however it took me a while to grasp, because I was like, wait, but it's just going to power the other ones. But no, it doesn't. However, you have to keep in mind not to throw too many items into the hopper at a time, because if you go above the next threshold after 3 and hit 4, you'll end up powering this, which will drain that hopper and break the sorting machine. How this works is you have to code the hopper. So say I put 16 redstone dust in there, I've got to fill it up with another item that I will not be putting in the sorting machine, and that can stack to 64. So no snowballs, no water buckets, no bows or armor or anything like that. And then this redstone dust here will be powered to just 2 if you have 45 items in there. Then 46 is the threshold for when it becomes powered to 3, so it will power this one, which will in turn power this repeater, because it slightly powers this block, and then the repeater's like, hey, that block's powered, turns on. This repeater has to be 1 or 2, I think I said that already, but it has to be 1 or 2, otherwise it turns this on too late, and it stops working. And then this redstone torch will be turned off by the repeater, which is powering this block and locking this repeater. Now that this repeater is no longer unlocked, it can pull the items out of this hopper and then push them into the chest. The reason one sometimes gets left behind, or one always gets left behind actually, is because this relocks faster than this can push the item into the chest. So you can still pull the items out of the hopper, but there will always be one in there once it's been used. The reason this sorting machine is better than many others is because it's quite simple. Most sorting machines are super complicated and run vertically. However, this one can be run on a horizontal line, which makes it easier to store stuff. The cons of this is that it can only sort one item into a chest, unless, as I said earlier, you push that hopper into here, but then it still takes up the same amount of room. Other cons are that it's fairly large. It's not humongous, but it's fairly large. I can't really think of many other cons. This is kind of just this is like the entry-level storing machine. You'll see a lot of bigger ones in YouTube videos. It can sort like individual items and all that. I'll make a video going over the one I built over there, which is a sort of custom design. But this is just an entry-level one. You don't really need much bigger ones. This one's also really good for stuff like mob farms, where you're only expecting to get 3 or so drops. So if this was a skelly farm, I could say like, this sorts bones, this sorts arrows, and then there's also a chest at the end that just picks up all the bows and armor. Okay guys, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a very, very good day. Bye!